All right, we will reconvene open session meeting at 5:04. Sorry, there's only 3 of us here today. We did have 2 that could not make it today. Okay, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. Okay, we will now recess into the California Military Institute meeting. We will recess at 5:05. Okay, I call the CMI meeting to order at 5:06. First up is the revision, adoption, ordering of the agenda. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second. Mr. Stafford and Mr. Garcia for the second. Okay, please vote. Motion carries with a unanimous decision. Next up are the oral reports. Student Representative, Cadet Major Mehran Hossain.
Testing. All right, awesome. Okay. Board President Arau, wherever you may be, good evening. Good evening, board members. Good evening, Superintendent Bennett. Good evening, Cabinet. I am Cadet Major Mehran Hossain, presenting on the California Military Institute. Oh, I have it. Which is now going to be a gold ribbon school. Congratulations. Congratulations to CMI on this award. It's fantastic. All right. Ice Cream Social. So for the cadets who prove themselves academically, Mr. Rhodes was gracious enough to offer us some ice cream. And that may be the best event I've ever gone to in CMI history. Plenty of ice cream, plenty of fun, and I appreciated the fact that someone noticed that I was putting in the hard work and that these students were putting in the hard work, and I mean, who can say no to ice cream? So we have some awards. We had some awards given out from the Menifee Council PTA Awards. On the left are some art awards and literature awards for essay writing. On the right, there's a cadet named Ruby Sosa. She's a senior at the California Military Institute, and she wrote a fabulous essay about the difficulties of growing up not knowing English and having to learn English as part of that school system and getting adjusted to the American way of life, right? And she wrote a fabulous essay, and I believe she won first place, Mr. Rhodes? Correct. Yes, sir. She did a fantastic job. Avid Career Day. These are avid students. These range from 8th graders all the way to 10th graders. And what happened was that there were some avid tutors from college and some teachers from CMI, and they interviewed them like a job interview. And so there were some students in there that, if it was a real job interview, they would have gotten the job. So that's just an awesome opportunity for these cadets, especially for the 8th graders, I think, because they're 8th graders at such a young age. They're already going through a job interview. So whenever they go up through the ranks, they're going to be ready for when that real day comes. Fontana High School drill meet. Although they didn't win any trophies, they won hearts and memories. They had a great time there. And there's something I really appreciate about drill competitions. It's the fact that weeks before the drill competition, they all have to come together and practice, and it's completely cadet ran. So the cadet commanders in front of that platoon, they've been training them every day for weeks to get them ready for this point. So I'm very proud of them for that. Memorial Honor Detail. We do this every month, the first Thursday of every month. and we honor those military members and their service. This is one of my favorite community services that we do for Paris and the Riverside County. The 9th Brigade drill meet. The California Military Institute hosted a drill competition where other schools within the region could come to CMI and they could compete in our drill competition. And I always brag about this every time I come. It was a cadet-ran program, and I'm going to show you right here. We have a medic station on the left, and on the right, you can see all the cadets working on the training, the scorecards, making sure that a unit arrives on time to their area, that the judges have their pens. There's all these small details, and I really appreciate the fact that that's a sophomore, I believe, and that's a senior right there. And that sophomore one day will be a senior. When she graduates, she will have those tools necessary to join the workforce, or the university, or the military, whatever she chooses in her life. 100% FAFSA completion. Good job, CMI. I may have taken a little while to complete that. Sports update. Awesome basketball team. Awesome soccer team. Great softball team. And awesome baseball team. Upcoming events. We have Mr. CMI pageant. If you've never been to that, it's interesting. You're going to have some guys tooting their toot, and they're going to look great. That's tomorrow. Do you know what time it starts?
Friday.
Oh, Friday, sorry. Friday at what time? 6. And then we have the military ball on Friday, March 24th. So if you want to laugh at Mr. Rhodes in his tight uniform, that's great. Don't tell him I said that. And then there's the Castle Conference, which my ASB members will be speaking on later. And then there's Bivouac from March 30th to April 4th, another fantastic event for them to join. Thank you so much for having me on here.
Thank you, Cadet Major. Next is an oral report. CMITA President Brian Dirkswager. Not here. Okay. The principal's update from Mr. Rhodes.
Good evening. Let's see. Former President Nelson, tonight's President Nelson, and members, and Mr. Bennett and Cabinet. So Moran must have senioritis because he's doing it in March. Did you say my uniform was tight? No. Okay, thank you. A couple of things. On behalf of the school and members of Cabinet, and then in reference to Mr. Dirkswager and the CMITA, I'm proud to announce that we have reached an agreement and everything's going great, and it's awesome on that behalf. In addition, today we had a visit by the Gold Ribbon School Committee from Riverside County Office of Education. Mr. Bennett spent a great portion of his day with us, which I appreciate, sir. And the language that they used was they were going to recommend, and it's not official until it comes from the state, but the language they used was, if I remember correctly, unconditional, and I can't remember. Anyway, I'm elated. I can't even speak. But we're in a very small cohort of folks who are going to get this distinction, and it was just an awesome day, and I couldn't be more proud to be the principal of that school today. I really couldn't. And then, what else was I going to tell you? Let's see. I think I'm out of time. So tonight with us is Miss Jane Sibilia. She's our ASB director. She does a lot of amazing things at our school, and over the last several years, she has taken SB from this kind of loosely organized, unorganized thing to what we are today. Rather than me tutor her, and she's not going to tutor her own, or I just want to make sure I recognize her and the students that are with us. And I'm going to let the students come up, and you can introduce them. And I just want them to read the distinction that we just received from Castle, and you can explain to them what Castle is. So if you don't mind, come on up, Ms. Sibilia.
Good evening, Board. Again, my name is Jane Sibilia. I'm the ASB Director. I've brought with me some of my ASB and class officers. They're the reason why we are so great at CMI. This is my ASB President, Anthony Munoz. This is Brittany Tarula. She's our junior class president. And then Stacy Bencomo is our junior class treasurer. Anthony's going to speak with you first.
So good evening, Vice President Nelson, board members, Superintendent Bennett, and Cabinet. Okay, so Recently, CMI's ASB team has submitted a student review and mission statement to the CASEL organization. So CASEL stands for the California Association of Student Leaders, and they were offering an award for the Student Leadership Program Award, and it is a very high honor to receive. It's only given to 5% of the eligible schools, and we actually received that award recently on Monday, correct?
Yeah, we get the official award at Castle Conference, but we're a finalist as long as we show up.
And I'll let my ASB officers explain the letter.
Okay, so the California Association of Student Leaders supporting leadership development through student activities. 19th of February 2017. Jane Sibilia. It is no secret the most successful schools invest in their students' whole lives. Both in and out of the classroom, years of research and education have proven the effectiveness of student leadership programs to increase overall student engagement and academic achievement while improving individual students' sense of self-worth, pro-social behaviors, work ethic, and future educational achievement.
As California's official representative body for student leaders, our interest is identifying and highlighting schools whose leadership programs are extraordinarily successful in their mission to foster an inclusive and supportive campus culture. After reviewing the self-study prepared by your leadership class, it is our pleasure to name California Military Institute among the finalists for the California Association of Student Leaders Outstanding Leadership Program Award, an honor presented to only 5% of eligible schools.
California Military Institute student leaders have participated in professional training, provided their peers a voice in administration, united the campus with common experiences, used traditions to create a sense of pride and belonging, promoted achievement, offered safe and inclusive social opportunities, encouraged a culture of service, honored diversity, communicated vision clearly, concentrated on the character education, and created lasting connections among the students of their school. Meeting each of the 11 landmarks on CATA and CASEL's roadmap for improved school climate and culture.
Of course, no student leadership program can facilitate student growth without the direction of an expert advisor. As such, we would like to thank you, Jane Sibilia, for your dedication to student leadership. The students of California Military Institute School are truly privileged to have such a committed professional on their side. Students across the state benefit each day from the work you and your colleagues do on their behalf.
The final step to receive this award requires your school's participation at our annual state conference. Should your student leaders participate, California Military Institute School will be recognized on stage at our closing session, where a student representative will be presented with a plaque in recognition of your school's exemplary leadership program.
Congratulations on this meaningful achievement. We thank you for joining us inside the CASEL newsroom. Speak up, stand up, and look forward to seeing you at the conference. Partnering in Education, Sandra Kirtland, and the CASEL President, Gabriel De La Ripa.
And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rose. Thank you, ASB. Information item 5.1, discipline matters. And now the invitation to address the Board of Trustees on agendized and non-agendized items. Do I have no takers today? Item 7.1, the consent calendar. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Stafford with the motion, Mr. Garcia with the second. Please vote. Okay. Consent calendar passes 3-0. 8.1, other items by the superintendent.
I just wanted to add a congratulations to CMI for the great visit today by the county office there for the Gold Ribbon School, and we're looking forward to seeing that come through in the near future.
Thank you very much. Other items by the Board of Trustees. Mr. Garcia? Mr. Staff?
None.
Nothing from me this time. Okay, so 10.1 recess. We'll recess the meeting until a later time. We are going to recess at 5:20.